Greetings. My name is the Reverend Jake Joseph, Associate Minister here at First Church Guilford. Today I'm introducing our second year of having a Stewardship online video stewards program. This year we have several different voices from last year reflecting on the meaning of church, what First Church means to them, programs that inspire giving, and the ways that we are connected deeper into life, to the sacred, to God, and to community here at First Church Guilford. Enjoy.
To our home. I want to share two stories about why I love our church and want to keep supporting it. First, it has to do with Suzanne McGriff, who was a church member, friend, choir member, who a few years ago got deathly ill and had to go to hospice. We heard about it a Sunday morning. That afternoon, we went to see her. And when we got to her room, there was Bill Speed and half the choir singing Amazing Grace to Suzanne. We were so moved. It was beautiful. And an example of the mutual love that courses through our congregation. Anyone who's lost a loved one, or many as I have, or been seriously ill as I have, knows the cards, the hugs, the visits, the food, the prayers, in which we are comforted, upheld, uplifted, and encouraged. The second is to do with a meeting in our sanctuary about 10 days ago about settling an Afghan refugee family in our community. 25 to 30 people from 5 congregations and a few other folks were there. And coordinated by and energized by our own Ginny King. The refugee ministry is in the DNA of our congregation. In the last 25 years, we've welcomed several families from Bosnia, Serbia, Syria. I love that our congregation in this way is a witness to our community, as 25 years ago, we became open and affirming, and as today, the environmental justice.
Thank you, Bob. Cynthia.
Yes. Why I want to support our church is my task.
Good.
There are 4 main reasons that I came to. The first is the music, which I find soaringly beautiful. It lifts my spirit, especially the organ, the choir, and the cello. The second is what I call community, through worship and service. Names that come to mind read the commitment to church and its ministry, past and current. People like Edith and Ruth Nettleton, Betsy and Clyde Work, Letty Russell, Alan Barbara Bishop, Bob Howard, Shannon Clarkson, Susan Leet, to name a few. Then I would turn to the witness for social justice, especially as Bob mentioned through the refugee ministry, the prison ministry led by Sandy Weens, and the environmental ministry team led by Nancy and John Leckerling, Tom Finnegan, Sue Jones, and others, especially through the garden and through the solar panels which we've had installed. And lastly, the pastoral ministry, led by the Reverend Ginger Brasher Cunningham, whose witness and devotion to welcoming, listening, healing for those lost or in pain. She holds out the welcome lantern to those who may be lost. I am reminded of one of my longtime favorite hymns from childhood. Let the lower lights be burning, send a gleam across the wave. Some poor, fainting, struggling seaman, you may rescue, you may save. For all of this and more, I believe in supporting First Church with my money and my time. Won't you join me?
There are so many things we all love about First Church. And one of my favorite things about sitting in First Church is being up in the balcony and being able to watch the choir sing and Bill Speed on the organ. It's awesome.
One of my favorite parts about church also involves music. I love listening to all the fantastic music throughout the services, and I've been lucky enough to be able to play in the beautiful sanctuary a couple times.
I love First Church because I get to help the community by baking cookies for community dining room. And I also love that it's such a welcoming community for everyone.
I love First Church because I love the emphasis they put on the children of our community. As a person who went through Sunday school and sees the effort that they still put in every Sunday, I really admire that.
A big reason I also love First Church, besides the fact that it's the most welcoming place and we found so many great friends and support and community there, is because these guys love it too. And that makes all the difference to have a community that your family, all different ages, can be part of. So, we love First Church!
So Vicky, tell us about First Church and the music program and what it means to you in these times.
Well, in these times and during all times, I've been in the choir since I joined the church 40 years ago. And we have no family around here, and the church choir and the church, my second family, they mean everything to me. And they've been supportive through good and bad. And so the church is just a real blessing. But the choir has a special place in my heart because I love singing and I love praising God through music. And since the beginning, we've had many different ministers, not many, but quite a few ministers and choir directors. And every time I think, oh boy, this is going to be, not fun. And each time, it turns out to be another person with different gifts, different blessings. And so I'm just so grateful.
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about what a choir rehearsal is like.
Well, a choir rehearsal with Bill is fun. We usually have warm-ups, and then there's a lot of chatter in the beginning because we all know each other pretty well. And then we just practice the things that we're going to do that Sunday and then for the following Sundays so that we're ahead of the game, and it's just a really enjoyable time.
Is there anything else you'd like people to know about why they should give to First Church this year?
Well, I think that the church has done everything they could to maintain continuity, fellowship, and love during this time. Yeah. And so I will continue to support them as they supported us.
Thank you, Vicky, so much.
You're welcome.
Cynthia, thanks for being with us. I know you're a member of the Stewardship Board here at First Church. Tell us about the Stewardship campaign this year and why it matters that people continue to give to First Church.
The Stewardship campaign this year is changing. I think the Stewardship campaign is always evolving. It's always trying different ways to reach out to people, to connect to people, to make people think about what it means to support our church and how necessary it is to support our church, and we try to make people just stop and think about of the importance of pledging and knowing that it takes planning to run the church and to do everything necessary to make the church run successfully.
What does First Church mean to you?
To me, it is a community it's home to me. I travel to Florida every winter, and I always feel a little piece missing when I'm not in Guilford and in First Church. And it's the people, it's the building, it's just the entire community that is just supportive and loving. And to me, worshiping in a group with music, with prayer, is very important to share it with people.
Thank you so much, Cynthia, and thank you for your work on the Stewardship Board. It means so much to all of us.
Thank you, Jake.
So now we've heard from several stewards by video: Cynthia, Vicky, Bob, and Cynthia, and the Melvin family. We thank you for sharing some of your stories and connections to this congregation. You'll see in the comment section here on YouTube and in our steeple coming up and in different places a link to be able to pledge online. Know that you will also, if you're a member, traditionally get a paper card in the mail. That's coming as well, but feel free to pledge online. And thank you again for your support of the ministries of First Congregational Church of Guilford, Connecticut.